When I bought my house, I thought I had finally found peace. It was small, but it was mine. A quiet little place at the end of the street, with a simple garden and a porch where I had my morning coffee every day. After years of renting, dealing with landlords and noisy neighbors, all I wanted was silence. And for a while I had exactly that. But the peace started to fade the day my new neighbor arrived. I remember the first time I saw her. High heels, dark sunglasses, an overly bright smile, and a voice far too loud for the hour. "Hi, darling. I'm Patricia, your new neighbor," she said as she ordered the movers around. She seemed friendly enough, but within a few days I realized that her darling was the opening line of a nightmare. The parties came next, first on weekends, then on random weekdays. Loud music until dawn, cars blocking my driveway, empty bottles left in my garden. One night I knocked on her gate, trying to stay calm. She opened the door with a glass of wine in hand and said, "Oh, come on, neighbor. Don't be so uptight. It's just a little fun." I went back home with my heart racing, knowing things were only going to get worse. And they did. She started throwing trash into my yard, by accident, she claimed, and complained about imaginary problems, saying my dog barked too much, even when he wasn't home. Then one morning, I found an anonymous note in my mailbox calling me a bitter old woman. I knew that handwriting anywhere, Patricia. I stormed over, furious, and for the first time we truly argued. We yelled so much that half the neighborhood came out to watch. From that day on, it became a cold war. She blasted music whenever I got home, and I called the police when she crossed the line. She filmed me from her yard. I documented everything for records. Soon the whole street was talking, and suddenly the quiet one, was the problem neighbor. I tried to stay calm, but then she went too far. One weekend, when I went out of town to visit my sister, Patricia dumped piles of construction debris over the wall, destroying part of my garden. When I came back and saw the mess, I broke down crying. I took pictures, called the police, and for the first time, hired a lawyer. I remember sitting in his office, exhausted, asking if I was crazy for just wanting peace. He looked at me and said, "People who fight for respect aren't crazy. They're brave." The court process was long and draining, endless hearings and paperwork. Patricia, of course, played the victim. She told the judge I was harassing her, that I made up stories, that I was jealous of her happy life. Her lawyer even hinted that I was emotionally unstable. I had to bite my tongue to keep from yelling in court. But I had proof, videos, police reports, witnesses. And little by little, the truth began to come out. Neighbors who had stayed silent started to speak up. They talked about the parties, the insults, the noise, the threats. Even Mrs. Lucia, who lived on the corner, came to testify on my behalf. Patricia tried to keep her composure, but you could see the panic behind her eyes. I remember my hands shaking as the judge read the sentence. Heavy fine, noise restrictions, and a restraining order keeping her 100 meters away. She left the courtroom red-faced, glaring at me with pure hatred. I just took a deep breath, feeling the weight finally lift off my shoulders. A few months later, I found out she sold the house and moved to another neighborhood. The day I saw the moving truck leave, I closed my eyes and whispered a quiet thank you. It was like a curse had been broken and the house could finally breathe again, along with me. Peace slowly returned. My garden bloomed again. My dog played freely, and the loudest sound I heard was birdsong in the morning. Even the neighbors began greeting me again as if the whole street had reset. Sometimes I still think about everything that happened and wonder why some people seem to find joy in ruining other people's calm. But I learned something important. Standing up for yourself doesn't make you difficult. It makes you strong. Now, when I sit on my porch and watch the sunrise over the rebuilt wall, I feel that I've gained more than silence. I've gained respect. And every time the wind brushes through the flowers in my garden, I'm reminded that peace may take time, but once it comes, it doesn't leave so easily.